They celebrated my sister with a luxury BMW while forgetting my birthday for half a decade. Now they want my help, and I'm done staying silent. Hey Reddit, no gift, no call. It's been 5 birthdays in a row. Then her story came out. A white BMW with a red bow. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I stared until my vision blurred. 5 years of being ignored. 5 years of maybe next time. So I did the only thing I could. I cut them off. Blocked every number. Silence felt like fresh air. 2 days later, my doorbell rang. I saw my mother on the porch, mascara streaks on her face, hands trembling, crying. Cassandra, please. We're family. Family? Family remembers birthdays. Family knows their daughter. Family shouldn't need Instagram to notice me. My name is Cassandra. I'm 28. This story starts with my last birthday, but it's been building over 5 years. Last night, I saw a car being celebrated. Today, I see a crown come off. She wants back in, but I'm holding the lock. 5 years. That's how long my birthdays went unnoticed. At first, I told myself it was just an oversight. People forget. They get busy. It happens. But 5 years in a row? That wasn't forgetfulness. That was a choice. I moved out at 18, paying rent with tips from waitressing. I studied accounting at a community college, juggling 2 or 3 jobs. Every degree credit, every textbook, I earned it. Meanwhile, Haley floated along on a cushion of comfort, taking 6 years to graduate while my parents covered everything. When she stumbled, they called it finding her path. When I called after my 23rd birthday, pain in my throat, Mom said, "Oh, honey, we were so busy with Haley's interviews." Like my existence was just background noise. 24, same silence. 25, nothing. 26, I stopped waiting, but hope is a cruel habit. At 28, I thought maybe, just maybe, especially after moving into a new apartment and getting a promotion. At the September family dinner, I dropped a hint. My birthday is next month. Mom smiled, her attention fixed on Haley's story about influencer drama. That's nice, dear. The mashed potatoes were more important than me. Then October 15th came. No calls, no texts, no card in the mail. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nothing. Saturday night, I poured a glass of wine and opened Instagram. There it was, Haley's BMW wrapped in a bow. Our parents gleaming with pride. Best parents ever. The comments read, "Amazing parents. So lucky, Haley." Even our aunt praised them. Not one relative remembered me. I sat frozen, chopsticks slipping from my fingers. It wasn't about the money, it was about proof. Proof that their love was selective. Proof that I had been excluded from the equation. 5 birthdays erased, 5 years of silence, compressed into one brutal image. It was clear. I had been erased. If they could forget me so easily, I could forget them. I kept working classes, shifts, late nights. No one asked how I was doing. Mom's calls were always about Haley. Dad's questions revolved around bills and me. I faded further into the background. At 19, I stopped expecting surprises. I stopped waiting for someone to say, "We're proud of you." Silence became easier than disappointment. I worked at the library until closing, and then walked across campus for tutoring sessions. Every dollar I earned had a purpose. Rent, textbooks, ramen. My friends teased me for never going out, but they didn't know the truth. I wasn't frugal for fun. I was fighting for a future. Meanwhile, Haley was finding herself, changing her major, joining clubs, switching apartments. Each whim came with a price tag, and Mom and Dad paid it without hesitation. "Your sister just has so much potential." That line became my lullaby. Every phone call ended the same way, with potential, not mine, but hers. Still, I didn't explode, didn't scream, didn't break down. Instead, I quietly sharpened my edges, learning to stretch $20 until it bent, to smile through exhaustion. By 21, I had saved enough for a down payment, not on a house, but on belief. Belief that I could stand on my own. I celebrated alone with a grocery store cupcake and a single candle flickering in my apartment. I whispered, "Happy birthday, Cassandra. You're still here." It wasn't glamorous, but it was survival, and survival was becoming my strength. Each lonely statement reminded me why I worked hard. Each empty voicemail proved I couldn't rely on them. Each milestone ignored hardened me into something strong. One night, walking home through the snow, I caught my reflection, tired eyes, raw hands. But there was something else. Determination. I realized I wasn't fragile anymore. I wasn't waiting for a rescue. The life I wanted wasn't going to be handed to me. It had to be built, brick by brick, dollar by dollar, hour by hour. That slow building became my quiet rebellion, the rebellion of existing when no one expected much, of thriving where they thought I would crumble. I didn't announce it or flaunt it. I just kept moving forward. Mornings, I ran before sunrise, cold air filling my lungs, feet steady on the pavement. I counted each breath as proof I was still standing. At work, Patricia noticed. She handed me a folder. "Lead this account," she said. I froze, then nodded. Finally, someone saw me. I framed my diploma above my desk, pinned my own birthday on the fridge calendar, booked a table for one with cake included. I sang quietly and didn't apologize. The absence at my table stung less because the presence of myself mattered more. Deep down, I knew the day would come when they'd have to see me. Each silent night was forging me into someone unbreakable. Then it came out of nowhere, a call from Dad, his voice shaky. "Cassandra, we need your help." Help. The word burned. I hadn't heard it from him in years. He said Mom's medical bills were piling up and the mortgage was behind. They needed money fast. I gripped the phone tighter. "Have you asked Haley?" I asked. The silence was heavy. Finally, he admitted, "Haley's not in a position to help right now." Not in a position? That phrase rattled me. I pushed. "What do you mean?" Another pause. "She's living with us again in the basement." My breath caught. The golden child, the one with every advantage, back in the same house we grew up in. I wanted to laugh, wanted to scream. Instead, I listened. Dad kept talking. "We're family. We've always supported each other. We just need you this time." Supported? I almost dropped the phone. Supported who? Not me. At 21, I was working 3 jobs. At 23, I celebrated birthdays alone. At 25, I begged for a phone call. They didn't support me, they supported her. I recalled Haley's smirk from years back. "It's not my fault you're not as good at school." Now she was the one struggling, and they wanted me to rescue them. That night, I barely slept. Memories replayed like a film reel, the forgotten birthdays, the excuses, the casual dismissal of my needs. And now they called me because their investment had failed, because their chosen daughter was sinking, and the daughter they ignored had learned to swim. The next morning, I called Haley. She answered defensively. "What do you want, Cassandra?" I heard her back at Mom and Dad's. "So what?" "Things didn't work out." "I'm figuring it out." "Figuring it out?" "It's been years, Haley." She snapped back. "You've always looked down on me. Don't start now. This isn't about me. Mom and Dad are drowning in bills. They ask me for help because you can't." Her laugh was sharp and bitter. "Oh, look at you, Miss Perfect. Miss Self-Made. You think you're better than me? I think I'm the one paying for my own life, while you've been handed everything and still failed." Her silence was louder than words. Finally, she hissed, "I don't need your lecture." "Maybe not, but you need reality, and I'm not going to cushion it anymore." I hung up before she could deliver another excuse. For the first time, I felt the balance shift, not in her favor, not in theirs, but in mine. The truth was undeniable. They had chosen her. They'd bet everything on her, and now the bet had collapsed. I was the daughter left standing. The calls didn't stop, voicemails, texts, even emails at work. "Cassandra, please, we're desperate." Family takes care of family. Family? That word had lost its meaning years ago. Finally, I picked up. Mom's voice cracked through the line. "Sweetheart, we know we weren't perfect, but this is serious. We need you." I let the silence stretch. "Do you remember my last birthday?" She hesitated. "Oh, honey, that's not. Answer me. Do you remember?" Nothing but silence. "October 15th, I said coldly. 5 in a row. You forgot them all. Her breath caught. Cassandra, please don't bring up the past. The past is why we're here. You poured everything into Haley. Every dollar. Every ounce of pride. You made it clear I wasn't worth the investment. Mom started crying. Dad grabbed the phone. Enough. We admit mistakes, but you can't punish us forever. Punish. The words sliced through me. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. I reminded them of the BMW, the lavish graduation party, the vacations, the gifts, the endless excuses. While I worked 3 jobs eating ramen in silence, you called me independent. You told me I could handle disappointment, but the truth is you used me as the child you could neglect because Haley needed the attention and money. Dad tried to interrupt. You're twisting this. No, I snapped. I'm remembering it. Every detail you want me to forget. The room around me blurred, but my voice remained sharp. Now Haley is broke, living in your basement. And you want me to save the family? They fell silent. I pressed harder. Where was family when I cried alone on my birthdays? Where was family when I begged for recognition? Where was family when I graduated and you didn't even show up? Their silence answered all my questions. Finally, Dad muttered, "We were wrong, but can't you forgive us?" Forgiveness? The word almost made me laugh. Forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. You chose Haley. Now she's the one you lean on. Mom sobbed louder. You're our daughter, too, she pleaded. Don't make us lose both of you. My throat tightened, but anger kept me steady. You lost me years ago, when you stopped seeing me at all. Dad's voice cracked. You'll regret this someday. I almost smiled. No, I won't. Because for once, I'm not the invisible daughter begging for love. I'm the woman who walked away. And walking away felt like the loudest answer I'd ever given. They wanted me to fold. I chose to stand. After that night, the noise faded. No more desperate voicemails. No more guilt-laced texts. The silence wasn't empty. It was peaceful. It was mine. I poured my energy into the life I had built. Work, friendships, the man who saw me clearly. Every part of my world felt chosen by me, for me. And the strangest thing happened. I started breathing easier, like I had been holding my breath for years, waiting for scraps of attention that never came. In therapy, I admitted the hardest truth. I wasn't grieving the parents I had. I was grieving the parents I wished existed, those who celebrated me, who cared without conditions. But fantasies don't change reality. And reality was this. I had built myself without them, and I wasn't broken. When my wedding day came, I looked around at the people who showed up. Jake's family, my friends, the ones who remembered birthdays, who asked about my life, who cheered when I achieved small victories. That was family, not blood, not obligation, but choice. Months later, a card arrived in the mail. Thinking of you, signed by Linda and Robert. I tossed it in the trash without opening it, not out of hate, but out of closure. Because forgiveness isn't about letting them back in, it's about letting myself walk free. I'm Cassandra. I'm 29 years old. My birthday is October 15th, and it's celebrated by people who love me enough to remember it. If you've ever felt invisible, if you've been told your needs don't matter, listen closely. You are not invisible. And walking away might be the first step toward truly being seen.